And now, Bottom Split Theatre.
Good night, good evening, and welcome to Bottom Split Theater. This is season 4 of the 2018 iRacing year. This is week 1 of season 4. Sorry, getting back to it here. I'll get it right in a moment. I'm Alex Albert, and with me tonight is David Haynes. We're here to see 20 laps of of street stock action here on the anything but short track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So, David, why don't you go ahead and give us a rundown through the 15 starters we have on the grid?
Yep, so as they just make their way off the line behind the pace car, we'll have one lap before we go green, but our starting order after qualifying is Brandon Plemons on the pole. He's followed by Donald Lafreniere, then Anthony Grocott, Cameron Garrison make up the second row. Our third row is Anthony Holzenbach and Michael Lemon. Behind them, Jennifer Fogg and Dalton Buckley. Then Martha Reynoso and Scott Tice. Behind them is Jay Hollingsworth and Raz Davis Jr. Blake Smith and Andrew Lemke are right up the back. And our final car with no qualifying time, but I believe he is here on the grid for this race, is Aaron Shah.
Yes, so we will have 15 on the grid. Not sure what the 14's doing to the 8. The 14's up, door slamming the 8. The outside pole sitter, the 4th place starter, Cameron Garrison, for some reason is harassing the outside pole sitter. Also on the pole pace lap, we were able to see Dalton Buckley have a self-spin there. So let's keep an eye here on the front of the pack. I think we might get something spicy out of the 8 and the 14.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on between those two, but the green flag waves, and I think our leader, the number 12, Brandon Plemons, has jumped. Keep an eye on that 14 for sure, because he looks like he won't give too much quarter to the 8, and he chops down in front of the 5 as well, Alex.
Yeah, not sure. Cameron Garrison's MO, he's racing out of the Florida Club, still got the rookie stripes. Oh, and we see one car going around back through the
4 caps to 3 collides with the 2. 3 goes up into the 7. That is 4 cars, all damaged. I think the 7 carries on, but Michael Lemon and Scott Tice have not fared well from that contact back in the pack.
Yeah, heavy contact for quite a few cars there. What started out as looked like a single car incident quickly developed into a multi-car problem. All right, as we see the 14 wreck the leader.
Oh, it's all going on up there because number 11, that's Anthony Grocott was not happy with that either. So now carrying on in the lead is Donald Lafreniere.
He went from 5th to 1st just by avoiding everyone else's problems there.
Gosh, that's sometimes what you have to do in this kind of rookie racing, but that was very unexpected, and I think that was really all triggered by that number 14 of Scott Harrison.
Yeah,
Scott Garrison.
Yeah, he turned the leader, and then the 11 car was having he had no compassion for a wrecker and decided to take a little street justice there. Lafreniere with a great run through the carnage there to, take the lead. So good things that you're out of the 8 car running up front still. We have the 11 chasing on from behind, about 2 seconds back. Raz Davis in 3rd after starting 12th. A little farther back is going to be Scott Tice, almost about a half a lap down from our leaders. And so we only have 4 cars still in the lead lap here in the early running. Only 3 laps down.
It's okay, we're just gonna have to make up something to talk about for the next 17 laps, Alex, as there's a lot of cars down on pit road right now. Some of them will get back out because we've got some very talented mechanics and some fast repairs in this series, but nonetheless that was very, very messy start. I don't know what some of those guys were doing.
I just have to imagine that after a long off season, this being the first race back after a long off season, they had a whole week off. And so I would say that they just, are rip roaring ready to get at it and just weren't able to keep themselves contained for the entirety of 20 laps.
Checkers or wreckers, isn't that what they say?
I think that's the name of the game here in rookie street stocks at times. Sometimes we see great racing and clean, respectful battles, and then sometimes we get what we see tonight where no one wants to give anyone any space. Just go ahead and wreck each other and thin out the field.
The one maybe saving grace we have got going on is that our third place runner, Raz Davis, was our fastest car out there. It was catching Anthony Grocott, who was catching Donald Lafreniere. Now, they've all just come across the line, and now our fastest car that time around was Donald Lafreniere. But for that lead three, it was closing up just a little bit. They're all about 2 seconds apart, which is a little bit too far for the slipstream, for the draft to have an effect. But if one of them could gain about half a second, then that would potentially bring that battle back together.
Right, and there's enough time for this to come back together here with 14 laps to go. The tires will start to give up, so we'll just have to see if the drivers are able to save their tires. It looks like now the leader is the quickest. Oh no, I take that back. The lap car, Blake Smith, was actually the fastest that time. I don't know if he might be on fresh tires, though.
Yeah, and that's one thing to say, is it is quite a warm day here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the track temps are quite high because the sun is out beating down on this black racing surface. So even though these aren't the highest horsepower cars, and this is a very well-banked super speedway, some of these guys could start wearing out their tires, getting a bit of a slide, losing some speed and the momentum. So there is an art to looking after the tires a little bit. How would you go about that, Alex?
Well, it's really running the slowest time you can and still winning. You want to average out your lap times. If doing a couple laps really fast in the beginning sometimes takes more good out of the tires than saving them all the way, and you can still maintain the lap times towards the end. So it's all about finishing the race in the least amount of time. But also you want to go as slow as possible while still winning, because no need to push the car harder than you need to.
Thank you for that, Professor Albert. I was watching Anthony Grocott, and he slid up a tiny bit, little bit of contact with the wall. Now he carries on, no real damage, but it might be just a little bit greasy out there right now.
Yeah, it seems like they've all slowed down about a tenth over where they were at just a few laps ago. But now we see Grocott really dropping off the pace here. He's about 0.3 slower than he was the lap before. I have to believe this might allow Raz Davis Jr. out of the Carolina Club to catch a hold of his draft and make something happen.
Yeah, I suppose Raz Davis has that home ground advantage there, being a Carolinian. And well, he is just a couple tenths here and there catching Anthony Grocott. He'll be in that draft soon. But at the moment, as things stand, Raz Davis Jr. is our hard charger at the moment. He is up 9 places from where he started back in 12th. And he could maybe add one more, and that would make his positions gained almost insurmountable and would make him our Dickens Cider hard charger of the race.
I think that he's definitely the favorite at just past the halfway mark here as we're working lap 11.
Very slow lap for Donald Lafreniere. Don't know what's going on with him. So 37.9 he's lost quite a bit of pace. Meanwhile, Raz Davis Jr. now about a second and a half back from Anthony Grocott.
Yeah, so it was about 2.2 and 4.4 seconds off the lead for the top 3. Now that's down to 1.8 and 3.4. So all the gaps are getting smaller.
We've got it'll be 8 laps to go when our leader here in the number 8, Donald Lafreniere, crosses the line next. But, well, he became our leader by circumstances and avoiding that very early carnage that we had. Maybe he's not got the best car. Maybe he's not the quickest driver. He's just pedaling like mad out the front there, trying to hold on to this lead in the laps that remain.
Yeah, I think he just had a bad lap the time before there. I'm watching some of the traces that we have here, and he just had a slow 3 and 4 that last time by. Sweep that off the trace. So looking good here relative to his opponents.
Meanwhile, our fastest lap of the race has been set by the number 7 car. Now, a few laps off the lead, but maybe with fresh tyres and a good draft, a 37.010. That's a massively quick lap.
Yeah, and he's tucked up behind Scott Tice right now. Scott Tice, the last car on the lead lap, and Tice is now into the wall as the 7 car goes by. 7 car started shotgun on the field. I have to believe he's just here for safety rating. So probably just looking to get a clean race under his belt. And I guess that must not have happened, though, if he had to take a stop part of the way through.
Difficult to say with precision, but on the previous time by, now Anthony Grocot's become our fastest car out there. And let's have a look. Yeah, another 10th or so out of the leader. Maybe that's just not quite enough, not happening quite quickly enough right now.
Yeah, I'm watching the traces for Raz Davis. He lost time just about everywhere on that last lap to the leader. So needs to erase that if he's going to make a run here towards the front in the closing laps. It's going to be 5 to go. This time by, and the leader slid up out of the groove here, and he had to lift.
Yeah, those outside tires could get very greasy. I've only got the track measurement in degrees Celsius, which is not what the people of the good people of Charlotte, North Carolina normally use. But maybe Alex, you can fill us in on that. But it looks very,
the track
very
is
hot.
About 107 degrees right now from where we're measuring it. So yeah, that's very warm. Although about what we would expect this time of year. It's 78 ambient. Nice clear day here in Carolina. As you continue to see the leader riding up just a little higher than the guys that are chasing him, but he has the advantage of track position with 4 to go. Although that gap's getting smaller, David.
Yeah, it's come down from 1.6 to 1.2. I reckon just a few more tenths, and you're really in that draft zone. And, you know, once you're within the draft, 1 second or 2 tenths, it doesn't matter. It's all within the draft. So Anthony Grocott is closing up slightly, just needs to get within that window that the draft will pull him along, give him that speed advantage. As, again, the leader goes up quite a bit high, scrubs a bit of speed, and this time by, it'll be almost exactly a second separating first and second.
Right, so I think we have a 2-car battle here. It's going to be an all-Canadian standing on top of the podium today, no matter which one it is. Both drivers out of the Canada Club. Going to be 2 to go next time. That time we saw the leader touch the apron down in 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's cost him a lot of momentum. It's now down to 8 tenths. Anthony Grocott is closing up, and you know, it's now a red box on our timing screens, and you and I love that because it means a good battle going on. This gap is coming down now. 8 tenths, 7 tenths. Anthony Grocott has the opportunity now.
Grocott got a much better run out of 3 and 4, ran the high line there, kept his momentum up. I think the 8 car might have saw that in the mirror. Oh, and he goes down and touches the apron again. I have to believe that's not going to help him. It's causing the car to get a bit of a slide.
Yeah, Anthony Grocott needs to stay in line in that draft right now, which he's not quite doing down the back straight, but he does take the wider entry into turns 3 and 4 that will let him carry more momentum out. It's down to 6 tenths now as the white flag flies for Donald Lafreniere, chased down by Anthony Grocott.
Yeah, I'm not sure Grocott's going to be able to get there. This has been a heck of a battle from about lap 2. It's been this 2-car battle, a long slog to get here, but oh, and the 8 slides again. I think that he just had a bit too much wheel in it there, David. I think if he would unwind it a little bit, be able to carry a little bit more speed. Here we go, the 11. Oh, the 11 has 11 has his foot in it here.
But the checker is out, and I don't think Anthony Grocott has enough momentum. So our winner is Donald Lafreniere, but boy oh boy did Anthony Grocott make him work for it in those last couple of laps. Third place coming across the line, Raz Davis Jr. Very quiet race, but a good one to come from all the way back there on the grid to be our Dickens Cider hard charger up 9th places and be the last man standing on the podium. Take us down the order further behind, Alex.
Yeah, so Scott Tice, our 4th place finisher, just crossed the line. That's going to be our lead lap. Blake Smith, Martha Reynoso, Aaron Shaw, and Andrew Lemke are going to round out the top 8. Rest of the cars stopped right there after the crashes on lap 2. So not the racing that we wanted to see. We would prefer a fuller field for the whole event, but a great battle. It came down to 2/10 there at the line.
Yeah, exactly. That it gave us some spice towards the end. Although, unfortunately, having quite a few of the cars removed from the race early was less than ideal. It was actually some good racing to watch up front.
Yeah, so hopefully the boys calm down a little bit next week. We'll be at USA to do some of the short track action. So I hope everyone can catch us next week for the oval action. But those of you that enjoy the road racing, and I hope that's all of you, tune in at just a little past 10 o'clock, probably about 10:10, for the road part of Bottom Split Theater, where we'll see the Global Mazdas take on the tracks of iRacing. So hope to see you then. Thank you and good night.